Hello, everybody, and welcome here to round 11 of the AWC Pro Series here from Pocono Raceway here at the Tricky Triangle. Hello, my name is Christian Delgado, your lead producer and commentator for tonight's broadcast here. Once again from Pocono Raceway. Week 11 here for the AWC Pro Series. Let's go right ahead and jump into the action here and take a look at some of your fastest drivers on track right now. Currently, your fastest driver on track currently is this 53 machine of Bryson Bird. New look for this 53 machine, that SciAps machine. Bryson Bird also your points leader here for the Pro Series, so obviously a very good season for this number 53 Ford Mustang. The little bit of a matching scheme with that 22 machine of Enrique Cucalan. Been racing here in the series as well for quite a bit. We'll go ahead and look at this new comer to the series, Matthew Stotts, my apologies. Really fastest in practice in this Flex Seal machine. Now fastest time of a 45.565. No, fastest time of a 53.38. My apologies. We'll go down the board a little bit here. Brett Bennett in the 47 P2 in practice, and newcomer to the AWC Pro Series, Chad Thornquist. In that 7 Hellman's machine, P3, the 53.536, Fidel Fabian. In that 51 machine back there in P4, and rounding out your top 5, the boss man, Jake Scarborough, the 77 machine. Still pre-warner, a little bit of a heads up. I do apologize. Still a little bit under the weather. I actually got COVID earlier this week, and on the back end of trying to put that all out with myself, so voice is a little unprepared for tonight's broadcast, but we're gonna stick it out here and do our best with what we have here. Obviously, can't really prepare for stuff like that the best, but we're gonna show up here and try to do the best to put on a good show for you guys here at Pocono. But looking here at second in points here, P7 of practice, Joe Farlow. Joel only 3 points behind your points leader here going into Pocono. 344 points for Bryson and 341 for Joel here in this 24. Joel's had a really good season throughout, these first 10 weeks. Obviously being P2 in points, led the points for the majority of the race. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what Joel can do here. Has never shown like to have flat out winning pace, especially on these short runs. But I would feel like I always will say has some of the best long run speed here in these races. And now Joel trying to run some laps out. Currently P7 to practice. Obviously, kind of the elephant in the room is we're here at Pocono, right? One of the most unique tracks here. Obviously, we're going to go ahead and look at our blimp cam up here and the Goodyear blimp, and you can see right here, I mean, it's very unique. Some people say it is a triangle, but some people call it a 3-corner track. Some people call it a 5-corner track, just depending on who you ask. But obviously, every corner here is unique here at this facility, and it takes a lot of discipline, a lot of patience here to be successful here at the Tricky Triangle. So, but just like that, you see under a minute left in the practice. We'll see some drivers maybe come down and try to finish out this last lap, and then we'll get ready to get your qualifying underway. We see Chad Thornquist out on track now for the first time since the broadcast has started. Chad gonna come to the line here. Gonna hit the wall there out of 3. Going to the line. Chad will keep that P3 position in practice as we get ready to get in the qualifying here. A couple of notable drivers. We have 18 drivers on track, some new faces, some old faces here. Wyatt Roberts in this 42 machine. I think he's in that, yeah, that Energizer car. A really nice looking machine for him. We also have Henry Kalhoff, who has joined the series recently and been racing a lot more often. But we also have, the same old here. Ty McIntosh here. Been P10 in practice in this new 45 Redux racing machine. Really nice scheme for that 45 as well. Like that, we'll get ready to start your qualifying here for Pocono here at Pocono Raceway. And obviously, qualifying is going to be super crucial here. I would say not how difficult the track is, but how unique it is, which can make it difficult. It looks like Bryson Bird's out on track. Let's go ahead and grab his qualifying effort. Bryson on this out lap here. Remember, every driver has 5 minutes to try to complete 2 laps here at Pocono to set a qualifying time. And obviously, you cannot do anything bad like getting into the wall or whatever that is. No 0x contact here, but coming to the line, 53 will start your qualifying. His qualifying lap. Good 1 and 2 there, down the long stretch here, going into turn 2. Gonna be breaking around that green line right there. That thing go down all the way down to that yellow line, up into the wall here, not to grab that wall out of the carousel area. Going down into turn 3. Gonna have to lose the momentum. And back here across the front stretch, what kind of lap time will this 53 run? Like a 53.8. Oh, for this 53 machine, I know currently enough for your pull. Brett Bennett will actually take the pull away, 53.701. Henry Kalhoff in the 63 with this 53.714. Good lap for the 63. Chad Thornquist sits himself in P3 with that 53.713. We'll go ahead and show your fastest in qualifying right now up on your top ticker. We'll go back and look at Henry, see if he can beat that time that he set there in that first lap. Good 1 and 2. Good turn 2 right there. Needs to get through 3 and 4. Henry, 53.9, not going to be good enough to beat that time, but right now still currently P2. Go ahead and look at Joel Farlow as he comes to the line here to complete his first time lap. Joel up to P5, 53.83. Good lap for him. Noah Brown out on track. Right now looking at Ryan Ronbaum. Gonna complete his first lap here. 54.2. That's good enough for P12. We'll see this 13 try to improve on this time. And has not seemed to be doing it, about half a second up that lap he set last. not the speed I think the 13 was looking to have out of this machine here. Ty McIntosh moves himself up into the P5 position on that second lap. Good lap for Ty. 53.805. I think Ty really was trying to sandbag for this second lap. I saw that he ran by far the slowest time on that first lap, and you could tell that he set it up for this second lap here, trying to get those tires warmed up and set a flyer lap, and he did. Top 5 for number 45 machine is qualifying ticks down. Brett Bennett will win your qualifying here at Pocono. We'll wait on everybody to their cars ready to go. Obviously, a lot of tools in the chest that these drivers can use to get these cars set up for the race. Obviously, you can set the car up for quali, adjust brake bias and stuff, adjust the steering ratio and all that crap and all that stuff to make sure that it will drive good for 2 laps, and then you can also adjust the car to make sure that it will race good in the race session. So we'll allow some of these guys to get in and get into their cars, and actually we'll go ahead and get your starting lineup here presented by TV right now. So sitting on the pole is going to be Brett Bennett in that number 47 machine. Good lap for him. And sitting on his outside, you see Henry Kalhoff in that 63 machine. In there in P3 is going to be Chad Thornquist in that 7 machine with Bryson Bird going to round out that row too. P5 going to be Ty McIntosh with second in points. Joel Farlow going to round out that row 3. Enrique Cucalan going to be in P7 in that 22 machine. And in P8 is going to be Noah Brown in that 65. P9 is going to be Matthew Stotts, fastest to practice for that number 14 machine, and Jake Scarborough is going to round out your top 10. Fidel Fabian in P11 with Wyatt Roberts sitting in 12th. See Neil right back there in 13th with Ryan Ronbon. Back there in 14th, Landon Brown in that 39 is going to be 15th with Adam Towle in the 34. Going to round out that row 8. Rounding out the field here, Brendan Reed in that 57 machine, and Cameron Rich decided not to set a lap. He's going to round out the field there in 18th place. So 50 laps here at Pocono Raceway for these AWC Pro Series here. Week 11, second to last race in the regular season. So the playoffs are going to be coming about here sooner rather than later. And we'll end off your regular season here at Talladega, which is going to be interesting. Looking at your race weather for tonight's broadcast, 72 degrees. The 9-mile-an-hour wind with partly cloudy here at Pocono Raceway. So perfect weather for some great racing. We do apologize for the voice chat being up. Obviously with the new UI, I think every broadcaster and every network's trying to navigate this new UI. So I didn't really get the time to take that off. So you will be seeing anytime someone queues up on the mic here on the broadcast, we will try to get that fixed maybe during a commercial break. But we do apologize about that, but probably just some friendly chatter there. But you do see the lights off on the pace car. Means we will be going green this time by to start your race. You're going to see that pace car take a hard left turn on the pit road. And Brett Bennett, Henry Kalhoff is going to lead us to green. We're setting there for 50 laps here for Pocono Raceway for week 11 of the AWC Pro Series. Coming out of 3 for the first time, Brett Bennett. Gonna lead that first lap. See Henry Calhive gonna dive to the bottom lane there to make it side by side, going through 1. Out of 1. Like the 63 is gonna have to jump back in line here to not get taken advantage of. A side by side going into 2. Looks like the 7 of Chad Thornquist is gonna try to take that 3rd place spot away from Bryson Bird. Ooh, a little bit of contact between the 2. Give the spot to Thornquist there and move him up in the P3 spot. Side by side back here, further back. The 45 gonna try to get side by side with Jake Scarborough in that 77 machine. Go side by side going into 3 and the exit of 3. He's going to have the draft. See if the 45 will get back in line here. We'll stay there on the inside. Now dips back in line, but going back to this battle for the lead here. Calhive all over the rear end of this 47 machine. All these drivers just have to muscle these cars around. These cars are not the easiest to get around Pocono. It's not like the Cup cars, not like the truck where you can kind of throw these things around. You really have to be vigilant with these Xfinity machines. They just do not. You cannot just throw it into the corner and expect it to stick. You really do have to be patient with the car, patient on the pedals, patient getting into the gas here. Well, you will burn off the car. You will go up there and slap the outside wall, especially here out of 1. Out of 2, it gets really tight in any car, regardless of this Xfinity car. Just really, you have to be patient here. Bryson Bird looking like he's gonna try to make a move underneath the 7 of Thornquist. Like Chad, gonna let him go there. Did not want to battle side by side going through turn 2, that tunnel turn. Not a place you want to go side by side in. Everybody single file on back. Still a huge battle out for the lead. Chad Thornquist actually going to push that 53 out to try to get back to those front 2. Henry's going to try to make a move down here in 1 and 2 again, side by side with the 47. Brett going to get the run off the top, though. He's going to clear that 63 once again. Saw Henry make that move earlier. Could not make it stick. Surprised he tried to do it again once again. Here comes the 24. So Farlow trying to make a move on the 7 machine. Makes a mistake. They're going to be side by side back there for the P6 position as Jake. Now side by side with Joel going into 3. Good move by the 77 to get himself up into a fighting opportunity. Like Jake gonna try to make a move on Chad Thornquist in the 7 machine. Side by side out of 2, but you're gonna get the run off the 7. Running that higher lane, he's gonna clear once again the 77. I'm pleasantly surprised to see, as I say that, Chad Thornquist gonna make a move. I was gonna say I'm surprised to see that Chad was being as patient as he is with everybody. You know, I've raced with Chad quite a bit, and hosted and some on and off leagues, and he's always been a very aggressive driver, and he's always been that guy to kind of be the first to make the move, the first guy to try to pass for position. And at the time, he seemed kind of patient and was okay getting back there behind the 53 a Bird, but you saw him make the move for 3rd right there. Everybody getting single file out here right now at Pocono. Everybody kind of content where they are. Looking at some of your biggest moves right now. That is the 77 in Scarborough. Got 5 positions. You have a couple guys up 3 positions. Here comes Chad Third-Quist underneath the 63 now going into turn 2. Going to drop back in line. Think better of it. Now side by side with the 63. Third-Quist and Kalhoff. Now 3 wide going into turn 3. Bison Bird's going to try to make the move on the bottom lane. Nothing of it yet. Now 3 wide, back to 2 wide. That 53 is going to lose a bunch of spots. Bison Bird will drop all the way back to 6th place, and now he's on the inside trying to get back in. Line with that top lane. He can get up clear of this 24. I think he's going to try to do it, and he will. So he'll fight back up to that P5 position. Jake all over the back end of the 63 machine. That Third-Quist got around the 63. Chad's running a little bit of a higher lane than the rest of the field here. You saw in 3rd and 4. Saw Brett kind of go down there and try to wrap the line versus Chad, who you see he runs a little bit higher. Caution out. Like potentially the 13 maybe having some issues. Black, take a look and see if we can find what happened. The 51 of Fidel here, see it can show us what happened. No, side by side with the 15 here. We could speed this up a little bit. Oh, there it is right here. Like he's gonna get in the side of the 22. Hook him down the front stretch here. Like just some incidental contact. 22 of Kukulon will go around. I don't think Enrique, I don't think got any damage from that. Kept the power into it. Yeah, he did get a little bit of, did make some contact with the right rear quarter panel, but I'm interested to see what kind of damage that'll do to the car. He hit it pretty square. That will be a caution. So we ran 11 laps under green there. Like no one decided to come down pit road quite yet. Maybe pit road is not open quite yet. You see all these drivers coming down pit side. Oh, actually a lot of fakers here. Some will come, some will not. Our first batch of guys is going to be the 77 is going to lead us down here. Jake Scarborough. I'd say everybody but like the first 8 cars who stayed out. Comes down pair road's going to take some tires. Jake's going to take fuel only here. I mean, interesting. You see some guys who took everybody else here decides to take 4 fresh tires, but guys who went out first obviously took fuel only to top off on fuel a little bit, maybe to get them to a number there. With our first caution underway, we're gonna go ahead and take a quick commercial break, get some overlays adjusted for you guys while we still have 2 to green here. We're gonna let our partners about iRacing talk to you for a little bit, and we'll be right back after a message from them.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
So some different position here. Obviously, we're looking at the 57. Tried to stay out. See all these other drivers, your top 7 basically stayed out. They didn't. The tires weren't really worth it here. So you saw the 47 pick the bottom there on the choose cone. The 7, the Chad Thornquist picked the top. The 63 of Kalhoff gonna be third. And Bryson Bird gonna round out that fast 4. You see that pace car is going to take the hard left turn back on the pit road. We'll hand this restart over to Barner the Flagman. And Brett Bennett will lead us back to the green. Brad Thornquist with a really high dive here in the 1 and 2. They try to get side by side with the 47, and I think he will. Chad Thornquist with the run off 1 is going to take the lead away from the 47. We'll have your second different race leader as the 7 will try to pull away from the rest of the field here. Got some battling on behind here for this P3's position. Henry Kalhoff side by side with Cameron Rich. back behind them. Jake Scarborough side by side with Kim and Rich now. Bryson Bird into 53, my apologies. Bryson gonna get the push from the 77. Now it's gonna put Kalhoff side by side with Scarborough. So I'm going to be 2 by 2 for the 3rd through 5th here. To the 42. That's Wyatt Roberts going to try to make a move here on the outside of the 63 as well. And it's one of the things about Pocono that I love is just it's all about placement, right? Yeah, you might be able to make the pass down there in the bottom, but if you don't complete it, you're kind of stuck on the, on the other lane where you might get freight trades passed with the draft, the way it works here in these Xfinity machines. You saw exactly that's what happened. The 42 just kept it up into the top, made up 2 spots right there just from, being committed to that top. And now side by side with the 77 is Jake Scarborough. He's going to try to take this 4th place spot away from Jake. Farlow moving his way up through the field once again. After pitting, ooh, you see the 65. Noah Brown super sideways out of 1. To try to dip back in line here. Now here comes the 14 for the 15. Matthew Stotts making a move on the inside of the 65. Ooh, had to back out of it. Almost made contact with Brown there in the 65 machine. I see Fidel Fabian underneath Bukalon with a little bit of damage still on that 22, I think. We got battles all over the track here. We go back up here. Joel Farlow trying to take advantage of the 63 Kalhoff. Kalhoff will just give him the spot, say, hey, a little bit quicker than I am right now. Just take it. I'm not going to burn myself up trying to fight you right now. So Kalhoff will fall back to P7 after starting P2 on the front row of the race. Kalhoff starting to slide back a little bit. Big Farlow, Joe Farlow on those fresh tires. And now the second of these freshies at 42 of Wyatt Roberts, who's actually gonna take the lead here. Here comes the rest of the field here. The pit. Got Thornquist down pit road as well as the 47. Brett Bennett, Bryson Burton, the 53 will also come down pit side. Well, I guess 20 laps was the most you can go on fuel here, so no wonder that some of these guys wanted to come down, top off on fuel here. Well, obviously everybody else who came down pit road here can go a little bit longer, right? So everybody, they went 19 laps. So I can imagine it's probably around 17 laps. Remember, they had those pace laps for that caution involving the 22 and maybe save a lap or two of fuel. And these guys have already ran about 8 laps here, so they can go probably another 10 more laps, and they're going to have to come down pit road here. So they can go to maybe lap 28-ish. So they can almost, it's going to be interesting. See how these strategies work out here when it comes to fuel wise. That's really giving Wyatt Roberts a huge chance to go out here and try to stretch his lead out. You saw him actually get into the wall there. It's allowed Will Farlow in this 24 to reel him in. Matthew Stotson, the 15 machine, up here in the P3 after the pit cycle. And here comes Jake Scarborough down pit road. Wells the 17 of Cameron Rich. Did Cameron speed there? No black flag from the 17. Good aggressive pit road entry from Cameron Rich. So Cameron comes down. So he stretched it all the way to 21 laps. So I'm interested to see, you know, how far these drivers can stretch it now, since we saw him stretch it 21. We'll go back up here, the battle on track here. Go ahead and pull up your pit road thing here to see if anybody else wants to come down, if they have the ability to. Looking at some battles on track here. Looks like back here for P8. We have some 3 wide TV battles. Is Ty McIntosh getting caught by the 66 and Neil Rutt. Neil with a good top 10 run right now. Obviously, this is a little bit of a strategy race right now. So right now, that 66 sitting there in P9. Thought we were gonna have a little bit of a battle here, but I think that 42 is actually starting to pull away a little bit from 66 machine. And we'll actually go back up here. There's a little bit of battle up here in front of them. A little bit of a 3-car pack. That is the 65 of Noah Brown, Enrique in the 22, and Ryan in that 13. All under a blanket here. Everybody in the, I would say, top 10 right now came down under that caution, came down pit road, and Chad Thornquist right now is the first car from these pit cycles here. Back here all the way. He's about 23 odd seconds behind P10 of Adam Tal, and has about 6 laps. I would say 8 laps more fuel in the tank than the guys in front. Right now, just sitting kind of in no man's land, about 15 seconds behind now. P10 and Noah Brown, and about a second and a half behind. I mean, in front of Brett Bennett in that 47, who we saw earlier in the race him take that lead away from. Now let's ride on board with Chad for a lap here. He'll show you around Pocono. Chad there, just sitting back there in P11 right now, just trying to take advantage of this pit strategy. Like to see Chad here in the AWC Pro Series. Obviously, had a little bit of racing experience with him. Local short track racer down there in Florida, and started on the sim. Is very well known for his talent here on the sim, and obviously getting into real life racing there in his home state of Florida. So super cool that Chad's getting some in-seat time in real life, and obviously he's done pretty well with it from what I've heard. Obviously, I haven't been able to talk to Chad as much as I used to. It's super cool to see him here in the AWC Pro Series. But everybody has started to kind of single file out, get away from each other, and try to run their own race here as we just crossed the halfway point in this race on lap 26. But we'll go through your field here, brought to you by HVTV. See the 42 here. Wyatt Roberts led 8 laps out of the 26. That will be 9 laps out of the 27, but that 42 looks really quick, but it's getting fully rained down by that 24 of Joel Farlow. We've documented here on the channel before how well of a long run driver that 24 is, and fully running down the race leader here. So look out for this 24 to potentially be trying to get around this 42 machine. Matthew Stotts in the 15 back here in 3rd place. Look at that, lowest 17th, but up here inside the top 3. Oh, is he that outside wall there? A good run for the Matthews debut here in the AWC Pro Series. Fidel Fabian, regular here in the AWC Pro Series, back here in P4. Good run for this 51 machine. Enrique Cucalon now is going to put himself inside the top 5 as he started to run away from some of these other drivers. Ty McIntosh here in P6. He's been super hot and cold all season long. He's either, I remember he was super quick and rattled off a couple of, podium finishes here at the start here, but it started to, planer out as we get down to the closing period of the regular season. But at 45 right now, sitting pretty right there, up in P6. Neil Rutt, that 66 back here in P7. Good run for that 66 machine. Adam Town, the 33, up in P8. Good run for him as well. And through the pit cycle and everything else, Chad Ernquist, we were talking about him earlier, has worked his way up into 9th place, running at that top 10. Brett Bennett in that 47 machine. We are getting to that point to where green flag pit stops for these guys who pitted a little bit earlier are going to start to approach. You saw Joel Farlow take the lead away from that 42 machine. A lot of pace out of that 24 on this long run compared to Wyatt Roberts, who maybe pushed that car a little bit too hard to get away, or maybe to get past some of those guys. Remember, this was all from this restart where they got this track position. Remember, we saw him gripping the wall there at the start of that last restart to get where he was now. And now maybe the tires are starting to fall off in there. As here comes the 42 down pit road. Here comes the 15 down pit road as well. So we'll go back to Joel Farlow. We'll put up your pit road timer once again, and it'll show you on the right side of your screen who comes down pit road right now. So you see about 4 or 5 cars coming down pit side here. Joel's going to decide to stay out one more lap. We approach 20 to go here from Pocono. And now we saw the 42 come down pit road. We saw the 15 come down pit road. Does that force this 24 to show his hand? And he will. Here comes Joel Farlow down pit road now. That will give your race lead over to Ty if he decides to stick it out. No. So with all that said and done, that will circulate Chad Thornquist back to the lead. Remember, uh, him and Brett Bennett, Cameron Rich, a lot of these guys are on a different pit strategy. So this will cycle out Chad back to the lead. All these guys enter and exit pit road. And there he goes to the lead. And so that will cycle out Chad and Brett Bennett back to P2. About 3 seconds behind your race leader there. Cameron Rich back in P3. Bryson Bird in P4. Henry Kalhoff will round out that top 5. Now remember, these guys have about 12 laps or so on these tires. Now, we saw everybody come down there now with 20 to go. So we now know that these guys cannot make it on fuel. But can maybe someone like the 24 of Farlow or the 42 of Wyatt Roberts. Can they fuel save 2 or so laps here without losing an abundance of time and make it on one stop here, on that stop there that they just did? We saw someone run 21 laps earlier this race. They can just do that, limp it around for maybe 22, then they wouldn't have to pit, right? So if I'm a car that maybe isn't too competitive, who is on that secondary strategy, I wouldn't say it's out of the picture. You try to fuel save for a lap or two. Try to save those 2 extra laps and negate a pit stop, right? I mean, a pit stop's gonna cost you at least, 40 odd seconds just in pit road. Not yet. Not even talking about slowing down to get to pit road. Gonna have to get out of pit road and get up to speed. So I would say it's gonna cost you around 50 odd seconds of track time to go down pit road. So if you are on that ladder strategy that pitted here with about 21 to go, if you could try to save a few laps, granted it's going to take a lot because Pocono is a big track here, over 2 miles in length. It's going to take a lot of fuel saving, but if you could do it, I think it would be a strategy you could do to negate a pit stop, maybe jump a couple spots up if you maybe don't have the pace to compete here. We saw the 53 of Bryson Bird jump down pit road. It's that lap 17 right on that marker. But Bryce said, hey, I know I can make it here. I'm going to come down pit road. I know I can't make it. Let me just come down and bite the bullet now. We'll see if this 53, it takes fuel only, or if he's going to maybe take left sides or something. Obviously, I think the shortest amount of time in the pit box is the best. The left side's up and the right side. So 4 tires for the 53. And now, Bryson was on Chad's, strategy there. Does Chad kind of react to someone like the Bryson Bird and come down, right? We know we can make it on fuel from here on out. We know basically everybody in the top 7 besides the 42 cannot make it. The 42 of Wyatt Roberts is flying right now. Just got around Henry Kalhoff for the P4 position. And tracking down the 47 of Brett Bennett for that P3 spot. So we can tell that this 42 probably is not on the fuel saving strat. And once again, we saw someone go 21 laps. If the most you could do is actually 17, I really don't think that saving 4 laps of fuel is possible. So Like Henry Cowhoff gonna peel off pit road. Gonna bite the bullet here. Like Chad Thornquist also down pit side. I'll hand the race lead off to Cameron Rich. Cameron Rich will get a bonus point for leading a lap here at Pocono. And if I'm someone like Wyatt Roberts, if you can't not make it, I am almost contemplating, you know, coming down pit road, maybe taking fuel only, doing a little bit of a splashing though. If you can't make it, you can't only make it. You're short by only a couple laps probably. I would say it might be worthwhile to, you know, maybe do a little bit of a strategy call, come down, take a splash of fuel, take no tires, maybe jump a couple guys. Already caught the 17 of Cameron Rich, who already has to pit again. And Cameron's already ran about 16 laps on this, so I imagine that he's probably just going to run the tank out. Maybe not. We'll see. I didn't see anything pop up on in-game chat here. We'll see if the 17 peels off. No, Cameron decides to stay on track here, so he's going to run out now and start his 17th lap on this fuel stint. And that'll give Wyatt Roberts back the lead, as he was, I mean, he's clearly on better tires a little bit. I think Cameron has been running a little bit quicker than Cameron throughout the whole race, I feel like. Wyatt is someone who's really shocked me a lot. Didn't really show very quickly. Wasn't very quick in practice. Did have a good quali lap. It has really showed up here in the race. Looks like Cameron Rich called out he might be coming to pit road this lap. If he comes down pit road. Here he comes. He's gonna take the hard left down, turn in the pit road, and ooh! Did he speed? No, he did not. Cameron's been kind of close with that pit road speed. So the longest I've seen someone go here, generically now, is 17 laps. So that tells me right now that no one can make it on fuel. So this really changes a lot. So now all these guys who stayed out there on that caution might be at a disadvantage, because they're only a couple short, but they're short, right? And you look at someone like Chad Thornquist. Now he knows he's gonna appeal, right? Fitted with about 15 to go. And he's got 17 laps in the tank, so Chad Thornquist can make it. So it's just gonna be up to when do these other guys come down pit road? When do they come in and bite the bullet They know they can't make it. When do they come down and top off on fuel, right? 10 to go here. Wyatt Roberts will take the 10 to go, but we know he can't make it. He cannot make it. He's got 11 laps on this stick. If he stretches it out, he's gonna have to go 21 laps on this fuel tank. I mean, if he can stretch it, he'll win this race, but because Chad Thornquist, who is the fastest on these freshest tires, is only running about 2 seconds. A second and a half faster a lap, and he is 25 seconds behind your race leader here. So with 9 to go, he would need to be about, I would say, 20 odd seconds to give Wyatt a chance here. But once again, I don't think your top 3 now can make it on fuel. We've seen some other guys peel down pit road, call it. Right now, we do have a little bit of a battle potentially ensuing. Cameron Rich. Noah Brown, or at least in proximities. Oh, Noah Brown's going to knock the wall down. And that battle will probably start to fade away. Adam Towle going after the 57 here for P14. Side by side going to the tunnel turn. So this is turn 3, my apologies. And the 34 will make the pass, clear up for the 57, give him P14. This was actually really crucial. This is the battle for the lucky dog if a caution would come out, so 34 will move himself up into 14th and put himself in the lucky dog position. You see some damage on that left rear for the 34 machine as well. Now it's just all about a waiting game now. When does this top 3 come in? If they do come in. The tie. We also have some pressure from the 39 and Landon Brown. Landon's also one of those lap cars. Has one less lap than Enrique and Roberts does. So I don't know if that's gonna help at all, but I'm interested to see if maybe this 45 is trying to save fuel at all. You hear that? He's saving fuel. He's turning that car off. I'm interested to see. I'm going to go up to Enrique here. Like the 22 is going to come down pit road. It's like, look at the 42 now. It's the 42 saving fuel. Does not sound like Wyatt is trying to save fuel in the slightest, so Ty is, though. So Ty is trying to make it on fuel here, but here comes Chad Thornquist with the head of steam with those fresh Goodyear tires. We'll see if Ty could try to hold him off here for 5 laps. I don't really know if that's a thing that can be done here. 5-lap fresher tires. And honestly, Chad's been, I feel like, the guy to beat since he pulled into the racetrack here. We'll see Ty. I don't even think he's going to try to fight Chad here. And Chad will take over the P2 spot. And he's got a little over. No, here comes Wyatt Roberts down pit road. And he's going to try a fuel only. But I don't think that's going to matter. Chad already passed him on track, so. We'll give the lead back to Chad Thornquist. And the only fight he has for this win is that 45 who's trying to save fuel to make it to the end, so. I don't know if anything's got anything for the 7 machine. See the 45 getting into the wall there. And I'm more interested to see if this 45 can make it. Coming to the line, 3 to go here for Chad Thornquist in his debut here for the AWC Pro Series. Chad Thornquist, not the most dominating win for the 7 machine. Not especially for Chad Thornquist's levels. Not the most dominating race for the 7 machine. You know, I've seen this driver come out here and lead every lap and dominate the race and stuff, but obviously he had the strategy under par. He knew what he needed to do to come out here and try to win here in the tricky triangle, and he's doing a good job at it right now. Slowly pulling away from the 45 of Ty McIntosh, who was trying to save fuel here. Trying to make it to the end. But he's got the rear. He's got a rear view mirror full of the 17 Cameron Rich running down the 45. As he's also good on fuel, so he's not going to have to worry about trying to have to fight with them. And I think this 45 is just going to let the 17 go here. And then he's got a little bit of a gap here. He's got about a 4-second gap there. You see that gaggle of cars behind? That's Noah Brown. Noah Brown's got a little bit of a battle under his hand now too. Brad Bennett to try to make this a battle for the P4 position. We come with 2 to go. White flag in the air for Chad Thornquist. Yeah, just got to make it 2 more corners around here, and he's going to win his debut race here in the AWC Pro Series. Take a look at some of these stats before he crosses the line here. 11 to 50. So not the most dominating race out of the 7 machine, but didn't matter. He played the strategy right. We knew he was going to be quick. He looked quick right off the gate. Obviously, it was 3rd in practice, 3rd in qualifying. And what a race for the 7 machine. But coming out of turn 3, needs to get back to the start-finish line. And Chad Thornquist is going to win week 11 in his debut here in the 7 machine here at Pocono Raceway. Cameron Rich going to come home P3. And Ty is going to come home P6. Dang, man. I was hoping that he would have had a good result for himself, but I think he might have ran out. Coming to the line here, we'll have to see. But Noah Brown will get that P3 position, get that interview at the end of the broadcast here. A good race for that 65. Good strategy call. But We'll talk to him a little bit later, but it's all up to the 7 machine. Chad Thornquist, with the right strategy call there at the end, gonna claim your checkered flag here from Pocono Raceway. Little congratulatory bump from the 13 machine right there. Congratulating Chad on his first win of the season. You'll see the 7 burn it down here on the front stretch here once we get there. See him coming through turn 3 now. But what a win for the 7 machine, coming out here in his debut here in the AWC Pro Series. New to the series, we knew it was going to be quick, but coming out here and winning in his debut, I didn't really expect that. You're going to see him come down here and burn it down here on the front stretch for you fans at home. And what a win. I mean, what a win. Gonna burn it down here, right in front of Barney the Flagman. And let's go and talk to him. We usually do a commercial break after this, but we want to go and talk to Chad right now if we can, while he's up here and waiting on his interview. If we can grab Chad. If we can get anybody for an interview. Looks like no one sitting in the interview waiting room yet. While we wait, actually, we will go ahead and let our partners over at our racing talk to you for a little bit as we wait on some people to join the broadcast waiting room. But once again, congratulations to Chad Thornquist on his first win here at Pocono. We'll be right back after our words from iRacing.
Racing Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back to Pocono Raceway here for the post-race show of the AWC Pro Series, as we just saw Chad Thornquist burn it down here from Pocono as he wins his first race of the AWC Pro Series. And speaking of Chad Thornquist, go ahead and talk to the 7 Machine, your race winner here at Pocono. Hey Chad, it's Christian up here in HVTV booth. Got a copy? Well, I would say not the most dominating performance, especially, coming out of you, I expected a lot out of you coming into the league, but, obviously kind of a different fuel strategy race coming into here with that caution coming out on lap 10. So just walk us through, your mindset coming into this race, obviously your debut here in the AWC Pro Series. Walk us through how you got the victory lane here tonight.
Well, to walk you through it, first we got to go back 7 years ago on PlayStation when me and Jake Scarborough started this whole bromance. Anyways, so with the whole pit strategy thing, it I thought more people were gonna stay out given it's a 50 lap race and you only have 2 sets to go with. And I feel like too many people went aggressive with the strategy. So my thought process was I'm gonna conserve the 2 tires and hopefully it went green to the end, which it did, because it was already going to be a 2 stop, like stretching it once the green flag dropped. And the way that early caution played out, it just kind of fell right into my lap. And anyone who pitted messed himself up and they had to do an extra stop. So they lost track position nonetheless.
Yeah, looking back at the fuel strategy, I was surprised honestly to see like you did, and so many guys come down. It seemed like that there was, I think, only 8 cars who stayed out um with that caution coming out between that 22 getting spun out down the front stretch. And I was, obviously I read the numbers and I saw what fuel strategy looked like. I saw you guys only had 2 sets, and I was very confused to see everybody come down pit road and kind of be aggressive like you said. But obviously, you know, I feel like the only person who kind of capitalized on it was the 45, who, and even then he was, turning off the cars, turning off the car into the corners and stuff like that, trying to get at the line there. He comes home P6, but besides that, despite the fuel strategy and stuff, out of your fuel strategy, you were pretty much by far the fastest. Obviously, Cameron coming home in P2, you had almost a 3-second gap on him coming to the line. So when it comes to the car and the handling, do you really think it does just take a little bit more finesse? Obviously, these cars drive a lot more differently than these new next gen cars do. They're a lot more floaty and a lot more you kind of more or less have to manhandle them a lot more. You think that's what really just gave you that edge here tonight?
It definitely didn't give me an edge because if you look at each division of NASCAR, statistically, I am the worst in the Xfinity cars, believe it or not. So it's actually kind of shocking that I won that race. I'm not gonna lie to you. But for the Xfinity car, it's not really about, I mean, every car has its own way of being finessed. The Xfinity car, it's gonna reward you if you drive smooth. If you try and wrestle it, it's not going to be nice to you. So you got to have very soft, fluid motions with the wheel. Because the way the track was, since it's so flat, it's going to be abrasive on the right front tire. And I felt that on every run I had. And then as for the way the strategy played out, Cameron, if we would have had a couple more stints, I don't know if much would have changed because we had a tire offset. He was tracking me down, but I feel like it wouldn't have made much of a difference because he went those couple laps longer where I would have been on fresh tires. And as for McIntosh, I feel like if he was more towards where the 42 was on that last run, he would have had it locked up. But him trying to save 4 laps of fuel, it just kept bringing him closer and closer as the laps went on. But the fact that he got 6 out of that stretching the last run, that's actually pretty impressive.
I was definitely surprised to see the 40, the 45, stretch it that long. I was like, I looked at it and I said, I don't really know if anybody can stretch it for extra laps with it being Pocono. I mean, how big Pocono is, but good for Ty to do that. But regardless, you came home in victory lane with a 3-second gap here and did a really good job. I mean, leading 12 of the 51 laps, and obviously that was due kind of to the pit strategy. You couldn't be up there leading when you had to come down and do the different strategies. But before we let you go, is there really anybody you want to thank for this win here tonight at Pocono?
Um, I want to thank you for talking to me and being part of the reason why I'm actually capable of racing a fake car again, because we both know how that went with IDK's sessions.
Yeah.
Um, I miss this community. I'm not gonna lie, and I think the reason why I miss it is because when I first met these guys, I was 16 years old, still in high school, had nothing going for me. When I was racing with these guys, I had a T150 wheel on a folding table, and I had plastic pedals on a carpet. So it's just, it feels good to actually race in a league again and have people that want to do it clean and get better at it. Like some of these guys in here, they've gotten a lot better over the years, and it's so refreshing because it actually makes it competitive, and you gotta earn what you're going for.
I definitely think it's really cool. Obviously, when Jake came to me about, about me broadcasting guys' league, he kind of told me the history of you guys kind of, knowing each other for a long time, meeting in different disciplines, whether it's console side, PC side, and you guys just kind of conglomerating together, making this high racing league for the first time, and it's super cool to see, you know, names come out from the WordWorks to come here and even if they're doing one-offs to come here and race and support the community. And then obviously Jake's done a really good job keeping this community together, bringing this AWC Pro Series together. It's really cool to see. And obviously you coming out. Obviously I've known you for other communities here in the iRacing community, but um super cool to see everybody come out and come out of the woodworks to come in here and support. Whether we've seen some IRL racers, we've seen obviously the mainstays here in the AWC Pro Series come in and race from week to week. But yeah, once again, I guess before we let you go, just congratulations here for your win at Pocono, and hopefully we can talk to you maybe up here in Victory Lane down the road.
We'll see if it's a fluke or not.
We'll see. Have a good rest of the night, Chad.
Yep, you as well, Christian.
Yep. That was your winner, Chad Thornquist. Love always talking to Chad. He's super nice guy. Uh, I always have a good time talking to him, whether it's in the broadcast booth up here in HVTV broadcasting studios or just in a call. But I don't see anybody else. Cameron Rich, Noah Brown, nowhere to be found in the Discord. So I guess we'll only be talking to your race winner tonight. So we'll get ready to wrap up your tonight's broadcast here from Pocono. Well, lastly, we'll go through your unofficial race results here, presented by HVTV. Chad Thornquist, obviously, we just talked to him, takes it home here at Pocono for his first win here in the AWC Pro Series. Cameron Ridge comes home P2. Noah Brown will round out your podium there in that 65 machine. Henry Calahoff will come home P4. Brett Bennett P5. Ty McIntosh will somehow hold on for a P6. Bryson Bird P7. Wyatt Roberts P8. Good run for him. Had a really good pace there, but fortunately, strategy didn't just work out the way he wanted it to. Fidel Fabian P9, and rounding out that top 10 is going to be Enrique Cucalon in that 22 machine. P11 is going to be Joel Farlow in that 24 machine. Probably not throwing that 24 really expected to have here. The 66 of Neil Wright will come home P12. Jake Scarborough looked really quick at the start of the race, but he'll come home P13, P14 of Adam Towle in that 34 machine. 15th will go to Brendan Reed in the 57. Landon Brown will come home 16th. 17th will go to Ryan Rombaum. And 18th will go to Matthew Stotts back there in the 15 machine. And just like that, everybody. A good race here for Pocono. Obviously, I love calling these strategy races when it comes to fuel or tire strategy. Obviously, Chad did a really good job explaining they only had 2 sets of tires here for 50 laps, and that's, quite a bit of laps here, especially for Pocono for only 2 sets. So it was definitely an interesting call to the race, and definitely a different, interesting strategy for the race. But once again, congratulations to Chad Thornquist, Cameron Rich, Noah Brown coming home with your podium. But besides that, I think it's time to call the night here for Pocono. We'll be back here live, at least for the AWC Pro Series, next week from Talladega for your regular season finale, and the crown your regular season champion here for the AWC Pro Series. Once again, my name is Christian Elgato, your lead producer and commentator. I do apologize for the coughs and groans occasionally. Just trying to work my way out of my COVID that I just got earlier this week, so I do apologize for the coughing and stuff, but had to show up and call this great race for you guys. But besides that, from everybody over here for the High Velocity TV, AWC, everybody involved, we appreciate you coming out and watching the broadcast, and we'll be back on live next week on Thursday for the Prestige Cup Series for the start of their playoffs, and then Friday after Prestige, we'll be back live right here for the AWC Pro Series for their season finale at Talladega Super Speedway. Hope everybody has a great rest of the night, and we'll see you guys soon.